Set amongst the forested hills and natural beauty of northwest Germany lies the medieval city of Bielefeld. It's home to 36-year-old architect and tour guide Mark Wübbenhorst. He may look healthy, but he suffers from one of the world's rarest conditions.
This is a lot of water to many others, but to me it's only the water for 1 month. So it's 500 liters, I would say.
Mark is constantly thirsty and must drink at least 20 liters of water a day just to stay alive.
After 1.5 hours, I will feel extreme thirst. Then my lips get dry, and the thirst I feel is like very intense.
He will be going to see a specialist to find out if there's anything he can do to relieve his symptoms. It all started back when Mark's mother noticed that he was always thirsty and would constantly urinate, and she became worried and took him for some tests. Her worst fears were realized when she was told that Mark was born with an inherited, incurable, and life-threatening disorder.
Normal person needs to drink maybe 1.5 or 2 liters a day, and I have to drink 20 liters water a day to stay alive. I can last without water 1.5 up to 2 hours.
Growing up with this condition was a nightmare for Mark. His symptoms were often misunderstood.
When I was a school kid, we went into the bus with a can. The bus drivers said, okay, you can't drink beer in the bus. And I said, hello, it's just a bottle of water or Coke.
It's a constant struggle to make sure he stays hydrated. Repeated episodes of severe dehydration could result in seizures and brain damage.
I will get very high fever and dizziness, can't remember things, and I do not know in extreme where I am and who I am.
Mark suffers from an incredibly rare disorder known as renal diabetes insipidus, or nephrogenic diabetes insipidus. Although the term diabetes is in the name, this condition is not related to type 1 or type 2 diabetes. Rather, it is caused by a defect in Mark's kidneys, which aren't responding to the hormone responsible for water retention. As a result, Mark must drink excessive amounts of water to live.
I need water every 1.5 hours, and I need to go to the toilet maybe 1.5 hours. So sometimes I use the tree, sometimes the toilet. I wake up in the night, and then I go to the toilet and go back and sleep again. So you can say, okay, maybe it's 20 times a day or 18 times.
Mark is at the mercy of his illness.
I'm always tired, so if I work or not, that's a side effect. And then sometimes when I go to work and come back very exhausted, I go to bed and sleep then, and sometimes it lasts 3 or 4 days.
Today, Mark is making the 2.5-hour journey from his home in Bielefeld to the capital, Berlin.
I'm going to see Dr. Sprengner, who is an expert in all the stuff which has to do with kidneys. I hope he has some new answers to old questions.
Heading up the hormone clinic at Berlin's Charity Hospital and an expert in renal diabetes insipidus is Dr. Spranger.
Mark's condition is very interesting. It's a very rare condition. Unfortunately, we do not have a very good treatment for those patients. Not to say we cannot cure it, but we not even have a reasonable treatment for those patients.
Renal diabetes insipidus is a genetic mutation that stops the kidneys reacting to the hormone ADH, which regulates humans' water metabolism. As the kidneys don't respond to the hormone, they miss the signal to absorb water, causing excessive urination, thirst, and dehydration.
Mark is like well in the moment, but if he doesn't have access to water, the situation can become very critical and very fast over time, and that is at the end life-threatening. So what can I do for you today?
My GP
Yeah?
in Bielefeld told me that diuretics could be useful for me. What I read is that diuretics normally would blow all the water out,
Yeah.
which is the opposite I want.
And you're absolutely right, the diuretics usually increase the excretion of water.
Diuretics are normally used to treat high blood pressure. They increase the amount of salt and water that is passed by the kidneys. Less salt in the body may also reduce the urge to expel urine. It's an experimental treatment, but Mark has nothing to lose.
But in your situation, there is a dramatic increased excretion of water, so about 20 liters per day. Usually takes about 1 to 2 weeks to see whether there is an effect or not. So I would recommend to move on with that, try, and see whether it works.
A few weeks later, the diuretics seem to be working. Mark doesn't wake up in the night to go to the toilet as often as he used to. He's less tired and now has enough energy to pursue his hobbies and a social life. With control over some of the side effects of the disorder, Mark has a positive outlook.
People with special needs have their fun and their plays and whatever, and it's not all about being disabled. And the thing is, we are normal people, so what is the difference?